random symptoms that you might be experiencing and what they mean. It's really important to pay attention to your body. It's going to be a good one. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to another episode. Candidly with Coffee. You know what I never do is I never announce, my name is Jeanine.
And my name is Michael Escobar. That's funny.
We never announce ourselves.
We don't. We just assume everybody knows us.
I know, but I listen to podcasts and they always announce. Interesting. Maybe we are.
It depends who you listen to.
Really?
Not Joe.
He doesn't. Babe, are you really going to just compare to Joe Rogan right now?
Yeah. I mean, he's the blueprint at all.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, you guys, it's time to get on the list. Jay's Body Bootcamp waitlist is open. You'll want to get on the list. BBC 15 is right around the corner, and that list is growing. So tap on the link on the screen or down in the description and get your name on the list so that you do not miss out, because you don't know what you're missing until you get in there, because you know how it is. The minute that it closes, everybody comes knocking on the door.
We need to look into that, the psychological factor. Why do people wait till something's closed and then they all of a sudden they want to, boom, now they want it?
I've actually had people ask me to come in even though it's already started. I'm like, no, I don't do that.
No. You don't do that. I know.
No, it's closed. It is closed. The door is closed.
You're announcing it now, right now.
And for the next month, you're going to hear me talking about it.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. People wait till the last minute.
Pondering in their thoughts.
Yeah. All right, you guys, candidly_with_coffee on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, and we're making quite a little wave over there on TikTok.
Are we?
A lot of videos are kind of picking up steam. We have several videos in the 6-figure views.
Wow.
In the past 2 weeks.
Damn.
4 or 5 videos. And we have over 5,000 followers over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also leave us a 5-star review, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate it. And yeah, so what's going on with you?
Oh, not a whole lot.
No?
Nope. Just staying busy as usual. You know, the usual, working out, content, working on YouTube, always that kind of stuff.
Clients,
always working with clients, making sure they stay on track, because you know what's coming upon us is the holidays.
Yeah.
So I'm on them. Working with the current, picking up new ones. So.
The current. You were telling me, it's interesting how, we acquire clients, technically it's like a weight loss program, but it's really not. We call our coaching Esco Elite Mindset for a reason, because a lot of times when we first start with a client, we're not even delving into weight loss right away.
No, not at all. I need to delve into their past a little bit, see what they've gone through, trauma, see if there's anything that's going to be a barrier for them to get to where they need to go.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's a barrier that's blocking them from getting to where they need to go. And we need to identify that.
Right. Because if you think about it, if it's kind of as simple as, steps and calories and protein and working out, why do people struggle? They struggle because they're barriers.
Yes, there's barriers for sure. And they need people like ourselves to get them through those barriers, to coach them, to guide them. A lot of times it's a crazy journey, because some come out of the gate swinging, boom, and they knock it out of the park, then they hit a barrier, boom, and they're stuck. And it's our job to navigate them out of that. Everybody hits that bump in the road. At
some point, many times usually.
And then sometimes in the beginning, they just can't get off of a home plate. They're stuck. They're stuck in the same parking spot. It takes a little while. And then they finally start, oh, now I get it, or something like, aha moment. You know
what I find funny is I have some clients that they kind of they want to do something. They want to make a change to their macros or whatever. And I will say no. And I give my reasons or whatever. They'll continue to try to convince me why they need to make that change over a period of time. And I'm like, there's a reason why you needed me to begin with. The things that you think you need to do are not the things you need to do. And that's why you sought help, because you've already applied your knowledge time and time again, I'm assuming. But I'm like, nope, stay the course. Nope, still the same message. I know they get so probably irritated with me sometimes. This
is what I say to them. Who's the student and who's the teacher? You understand? We've been doing this a very long time. You've competed. You've learned from the best in
Yeah.
the game, and you've formulated your formula. You're the true macro magician. I copied you, and I just spun my own little twist into it.
I usually just tell them, like, you'll thank me later. And they always
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, of course.
You're annoyed now, but you'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Because I love what you always say. The math ain't mathin'. It's all numbers. And once people understand that, oh, yes, that's all. It's numbers. If you plug in those numbers into the food you love, success with consistency and just following the blueprint, not getting off the beaten path and doing your own thing, like stay where we tell you to stay, you're going to have success.
Because what happens is if people perceive, actually, you had an example like this in a coach call that you were just in, but if people perceive that things are not happening, they will try to make their own tweaks.
Yes.
And I literally had a conversation with a client today, and I'm like, no. You perceive things aren't happening, but I am telling you as your coach, an outside expert in this, that the change is there. Because trust me, I want you to have amazing progress. I want to be able to post your results and shout to the rooftop. So if it wasn't there, I would certainly tell you, hey, do this, this, and this so that we can get the results. But the results are there. It would be to your detriment if I allowed you to do what you want to do. It's going to be your detriment because that's not going to work. It might work temporarily, but it's not going to work in the long run. Like, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, like they're always trying to tweak something. Like they'll try to like slash their calories or cut their carbs or do something.
Yeah.
Like, did I tell you to do that? When did we discuss that? Why would you do that? Oh, you thought.
Yeah, because I did it before or something,
And what? It temporarily worked, right? And then you gained it all back and then some. So no, it didn't work.
It doesn't work.
So stop doing what you think you need to do and listen to us. I know what we're doing.
And you know what I know? It is confusing sometimes. It is weird and confusing, and it's simple but not at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple, but then again, it is not. There are so many variables. So, yeah, I don't know, but...
And this game is very psychological.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I know my triggers, like, when there's a situation like a death, I tend to eat my emotions. So I have to check that. Like, when a friend of mine passed away about a month ago, I felt my emotions running high and I wanted to eat everything in sight. The old me was coming out and saying, no, we're not doing that, Mike. I had to check myself. But I started a lightweight falling into that again, but I stopped myself short. Like, no, we're not doing that. So you have to, that's why I said we need to know what people have gone through and what their triggers are. Because
then if we anticipate the trigger. Because then you can anticipate the trigger sometimes. I have some clients that their trigger is success, believe it or not. Anytime they have a great breakthrough with some success, they have the tendency to go backwards. And so if they break through, if there's certain people, if they break through and they have some success, I'm like, all right, I have to remind them. I'm like, okay, what are we going to put into place to make sure that we don't fall back into yada, yada. And the tricky part is with some of since we do weigh-ins and check-ins for clients on Friday, those clients that have that tendency, and I always go, listen, you just had a good weigh-in, but do not celebrate this weekend, you know what I mean? Or let it go, because you tend to do that every time we get in front of it, and I'll check in extra with them throughout the weekend. Like, you're not doing it this time. Do not do that. Don't chase this low weight now for the next 2 weeks because of you went off the chain for 2 days.
It's like self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like you had success, but then now you sabotaged it. Why would you want to do that? But people, somewhere in their mind, they go back to that always. It's something, a trigger in the brain.
Some people have the tendency to self-sabotage. And there's different reasons that they self-sabotage. Sometimes it is fear of success.
Yes. And this doesn't apply just to like weight loss. This is success in relationship, in business, and a lot of stuff in life.
Yeah, because sometimes it is fear of success because some people fear that the only direction from here is down. And if people perceive now that I'm successful, then they're gonna see when I fall.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like that. That's one of a really common reason for self-sabotage. But anyways, guys, let's take a little break for 1UP Nutrition. We'll be right back. When it comes to the best supplements to support your muscle building and fat loss goals, 1UP Nutrition has you covered. Their gut health supplements have been a complete game changer for me. And I have to say, their protein powders are my absolute favorites. Mike and I literally order the peanut butter cookie and lemon Italian ice protein powders by the case. They are that good. With so many delicious flavors to choose from, 1UP Nutrition makes hitting your protein goals easy and enjoyable. So whether you're looking for supplements, protein powders, or anything in between, shop 1UP Nutrition for all your needs. And don't forget to use Jeanine to save at checkout. That's code JEANINE. All right, let's move on to a little hot topic. I thought this was very, very sad, but interesting. I actually saw Riley Keough, which is the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley, on a podcast. She actually just came out with a memoir. I want to read it, actually. And in it, she talks about like generational trauma, which I found interesting, the whole topic of generational trauma and what her mom went through. Her mom was like really never the same after her son died. He died, I think it was either an OD or he unalived himself. I can't remember. I think it was he unalived himself, but don't quote me on that one. But she was in like a turmoil of what to do, where to bury his body, whether to bury him in California or in Graceland, and kept his body for 2 weeks at home in the casita, in the back casita.
What?
Yeah. I guess you can. In California, there are no, like, you don't have to do immediate burial. There's no like law or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. But anyways, I thought that was very sad and and traumatic. But she ended up burying him at Graceland, and sadly, she's buried right next to him now.
Wow.
That was sad. Her whole life just traumatic. And in the book that her daughter writes, she talks a lot about the stories that her mom told her about her growing up. She remembers a lot of Elvis, like seeing him like really like in bad shape and being really worried that he was going to die. At a young age, she was worried he was going to die. There's even a note she wrote, and they have it in the book, a picture of it that says like, I love my daddy so much, please don't die, because she was worried.
Wow.
Isn't that sad? Because she saw him a few times like in real bad shape.
Loaded up or something, or just not looking healthy.
Yeah.
And this is why we say this. My message is to fathers and to everybody. It should be to mothers too, but for fathers, because my page is mainly for men. Mm-hmm. Is you gotta know that your kids are watching you. Everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, eating bad food. Mm-hmm. They're watching you. They're gonna pick up those behaviors.
And the sad thing is, think about it. I mean, obviously, she saw how horrible that was for her. She saw that, and she saw what happened with her dad. Then she grew up. And even though she knew that was bad and traumatic, she basically put her kids through the same thing. Drugs,
That's what I'm saying.
An untimely young death.
Yes.
So the generational trauma continues. So now, and look, her son, also not good, right? A situation there. Now her kids, the daughter Riley, she's got a set of twins also, I believe. Now, will they break the cycle, or will that trauma continue?
You're right.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
When you think about it. I was looking into that, like generational trauma. It's not what people think. It's not like embedded in your DNA or like I went through that. On a DNA. It's not a DNA type of thing. It is the environment and the patterns and the styles of communication and things are passed down from generation to generation. It's kind of like with like obesity or diabetes, right? Type 2 diabetes. Like it's not necessarily in your genes. It is because the patterns of the families, the way they eat, the way they don't exercise, those patterns transfer. Yes. So it's similar in generational trauma, those patterns transfer, and it's up to each generation, to make changes so that they can then dilute it. So further and further down the line, that trauma lessens. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same thing, but you broke that generational, not trauma, but the curse of just allowing yourself to be overweight,
Well, yeah, yourself. It's similar. Yeah.
And your kids follow suit, and now they're into health and eating and they're self-aware and they're in good shape and they broke it. So now their kids are probably definitely never going to experience that, because now you broke it, now they broke it.
Yeah, see, and mine, like I broke it and evolved, right? So it's not it's not like they only remember me always going to the gym or whatever, because I didn't in their first half of life probably. But the second half of life, but they're actually like the first generation that will probably just have that knowledge of health and fitness and all of that. So it dilutes, right? I was a diluted version. Like my mom tried, gained and lost a bunch of weight a lot of times. So it's similar in terms of like dealing with the mental, the physical abuse or the communication styles, the way the household functions. That's generational trauma.
Yeah.
Unless, you make an active effort to dilute, to work on it. Yeah. You can't be, sometimes I feel like I've had like an too confident of a thought, like, oh, I just broke all the barriers and, changed everything. But no, I'm sure that I have certain things about me that I've carried from my childhood into this. You have to be self-aware.
For sure.
I think you have to be self-aware and think, you carried some shit.
I 100%.
You have some things.
I 100% did.
Yeah.
Because just the way my mother brought that trauma with her, because she went through some stuff.
And because and that trauma and the way she lived created your household created your trauma. Yeah. And then, so you didn't break the cycle, but you don't have any children of your own.
No.
But you know what I mean? That would be, so it ends with you kind of, but
yeah,
as far as your leg of it,
yeah,
but it's crazy when you think about it.
It is.
It's all of it is just crazy. Anyways, let's move on to a word from MegaFit Meals. When it comes to hitting your macros, MegaFit Meals makes it so easy with their delicious macro-friendly meal prep options. Mike and I are constantly on the go these days, and these meals are a lifesaver during some of our busiest weeks. Whether you're craving chicken tenders, pizza, filet mignon, or even pasta, MegaFit Meals has something for everyone. All meals are high in protein, made with quality ingredients, and designed to help you crush your health and fitness goals. And the best part, there's no subscription required, so you can order as you need. Save time without sacrificing nutrition. And if you want to try it for yourself, use our link in the description and enter code Jeanine for a discount. That's code JEANINE. MegaFit Meals has you covered. All right, you guys, comment corner. Angie Hernandez says, I just started my 30-day walking challenge, but would love to do BBC. This is so exciting. I wanted to point out this comment because how cool is it that then 2 BBC clients reply to this person saying, do it, you'll love it. I will be starting on my 3rd one. It's a lot of encouragement, not just from Jeanine, but the community. Another person says, it will be the best thing you ever do. I loved it and I can't wait for the next one. It's like as if I paid them. It's like a paid ad.
Right.
Not a paid ad.
No.
Truly just BBC loyals. And I loved that. I thought that was so cool. When I went in to look at comments, I was like, there's 3 replies on this lady's comment? Who's replying to her? And then I thought that was cool.
They're reading it too. Your people.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It is. Welcoming her into the community.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go on to some random symptoms and what they mean. There's weird things that the body does, but nothing is ever without a meaning. That's what I realized. And it was crazy because my mom had this and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So there's something called a buffalo hump. And for some of these, you guys, I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see what I am talking about. But there is like a fat pad on the back, like right below the neck, above the shoulder blades.
I've seen that.
And it gets like big. It's usually on larger people you see it, but it's like a big accumulation of fat, and it's called a buffalo hump. That is an indication of very high cortisol.
Wow.
It's usually also an indication of Cushing's disease, which is related to like a cortisol regulation in the body, but not always Cushing's. My mom had that. She always had that like hump on her back. I thought she had bad posture, but it wasn't posture. It was fat.
Damn.
My mom had chronically high cortisol. Now that I think about it, her face, she also had the flush. Her cheeks were flushed.
Yeah.
That poor woman was walking around like at an elevated level of stress at all times for years, as long as I can remember.
Poor lady, man. What a tough lady to like just deal with life and that crack.
It just kills me because if I would have had the knowledge that I have now, I'd be able to look at her and go, Mom, your liver is not functioning well because, like, look at your toenails, your kidneys, your feet are indicating there's kidney issues because if you have cracked heels or really messed up toenails, like very yellow toenails or thick toenails, that's like liver issues.
Whoa. What about ankles? Anything with like
swollen ankles? That could be congestive heart failure. Damn. It could also be because your heart, it's not pumping well. It could also be issues with the liver or the kidneys. It could also be just water retention in general. So listen, this is not medical advice. We're just, entertainment purposes only here.
That's it.
But the body tells you things.
It does.
I swear, I would have been able to look at her and diagnose her with so many different things. She also had she snored really bad. And then she had like, her neck was fat here too. Turned out she had a tumor on her thyroid, which she got removed like 15 years ago. But there was that. You could visibly see it. It was crazy. The doctor was surprised she could even breathe when he finally looked in her mouth and saw that thing.
And your mother didn't even drink or nothing or smoke or nothing?
Well, remember, we don't know if she drank. Because the doctor was kind of like, because he said your mom's liver is cirrhotic. Yeah. And I was like, how could that be? She hardly drinks. And he's like, he kind of looked at me like, I don't know about that. This looks like a liver of someone who's been a drinker. Then come to find out when we cleaned out her stuff, there was a lot of bottles of empty alcohol. But we're guessing it had to do with she was handling her pain that way with alcohol.
Masking
her pain because she was having a lot of pain. Anyways, so the buffalo hump. Cravings for ice could be, there's a condition. If you have a craving for ice, not just as a refreshing thing, but constantly need to have ice, it could be that you have like a condition that is, that you crave things with no nutritional value, like not just ice, dirt and other things. And it could mean that, also could mean you have an iron deficiency.
Interesting.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, another one. A black line in your nail. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm going to show you. Isn't that weird?
I've never seen that.
I would think that is like a pencil. Like someone put a pencil there.
I've never seen that on someone. I'll pay attention now.
Yeah, so a black line in your nail, it means it could be a sign of a rare skin cancer called ALM. It's a type of melanoma that occurs either on the palms of the hands, soles of the feet, or under the nails. It's good to know these things, though.
I know, right?
I wouldn't think to go to the doctor. Would you be concerned, babe, you have a black line, you got to run to the doctor?
No.
You wouldn't. You'd be like, what's up with your nail? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I would ignore it, right? It just goes to show you. Some of you coming away from this podcast, maybe you're going to be checking your nails, checking all kinds of things.
Yeah.
This I have seen a lot. And it is a sign of hyperthyroidism. So not hypothyroid, where the thyroid is slow, but hyper, where it is too fast. It's overactive. Have you seen people's nails like that, where they're separated? So when the nail is separated from the nail bed, there's a lot of white. I've seen nails. I had a piano teacher that her nails looked like that when I was young.
So what's the risk of having hyper?
Heart palpitations, anxiety. There's a lot of symptoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's your thyroid is not functioning properly. Also weight loss, like unexplained weight loss. Hyperthyroidism will give you weight loss. Like hypo will give you weight gain.
Weight gain, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have seen people with that, though. Okay, so stool color. Stool color is important, too. I'm going to put up a little graph, but it's not graphic. It's up on the screen because it's cartoon. We're not trying to, make anyone lose their lunch.
Yes.
But a pale or clay-colored stool means that it could be issues with your liver, or it could be issues in general with nutrient absorption or issues in the small intestine. Your body's not absorbing nutrients, a lack of good bacteria in your gut. I had pale stool when I came back from Mexico that one time that I was very, very ill. For like a week, my stool was
Really?
pale. Yeah, it was colorless. It was the weirdest thing. It looked like like white snakes.
Dude, I've never seen that before.
So crazy.
That's
not good.
No, hell no.
Apparently, it's not a good sign. So I should have gone to the doctor when I saw that, but I didn't. And other obviously there are other, black tarry is not good. It could mean internal bleeding of some sort, but usually if it's black, it's like digested blood. So it's like coming from the digestive tract.
Yeah.
If it's bright red, it's usually coming, it's like on the way out. If you see blood in your stool, it's still, anytime you see blood in your stool, go to the doctor.
It's a bad sign.
Go to the doctor. It could be something small like hemorrhoids or anal fissures or something like that, but it could be something big too, because, it's not normal necessarily.
I was hospitalized as a kid for, I don't know how many, I can't remember. I was really, really young. I want to say like 2 weeks, maybe. I don't know. I wish I could ask any of my siblings, but they were too young. But I do remember being in the hospital for that. I had blood coming out of my stool. It wasn't good, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember being in the hospital bed with all kinds of IVs and needles coming out of my arm. And I was happy as a clown. I wasn't scared of nothing. My mom was there with me every day. And I remember there was a certain doctor who figured out what was wrong with me.
Yeah,
but it was critical.
It was a something.
It was something.
A bacterial something?
Maybe, yeah. It was something. But he was able to figure it out and fix me.
Yeah, because that is scary for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was super young.
Definitely scary. Anytime there's anything going wrong. Also, any foul smells. I know I should have done a disclaimer.
TMI.
But any like foul smells, listen, there's a difference between like a number 2 smell and like a really different smell.
Yeah.
Because a sign of foul smell could be lots of things, bacterial problems going on, a parasite, different things.
Right.
But also when there is internal bleeding and the blood and the stool come together, there is a chemical reaction that creates an odor that is so foul that ask any nursing student or any nurse or in the medical field, they'll say like, oh no, you have a patient with a GI bleed, because a GI bleed means some sort of blood in the digestive tract mixed with stool. It is potent and it is foul, and it is not a good sign.
You've experienced that.
Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't know.
Not you personally, per se, but
not personally, but I experienced the odor. I did experience,
yes.
Which it's like nothing you've ever encountered.
Thank goodness I never have.
But anything else too in the Netherlands that's foul smelling, it needs to be investigated.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way.
Facts.
Like, do not let this stuff go, you guys. If you yourself have an impaired sense of smell, this is interesting. So especially if you're older, if your older parents or whatever have an impaired sense of smell, it could be a sign of early onset, like Alzheimer's, an early sign of Alzheimer's or dementia. So if they can't smell like baked goods or something delicious and they don't have like sinus problems, that could be a sign of dementia.
Wow.
That's one of the first signs when you lose your, also Parkinson's, when you lose your sense of smell.
That's terrible to lose that.
I didn't realize how important taste and smell was until I lost it with the C, when I got the C.
Yeah. I didn't lose my taste too much, but I lost the damn smell.
Yeah. You remember
I couldn't believe it.
You were so happy. You're like, I'm good. I'm like, oh, really? I'm so jealous. So you can smell my hair right now? Because I had just gotten out of the shower and you like smelled it. And you're like, wait just a minute. And you went and grabbed your cologne and you couldn't smell it.
No.
You were so upset.
I was like, oh shit. I was lightweight worried. Like, I don't want to lose that. Are you kidding? You know?
Some people had to go to therapy to get it back.
I heard that.
Like a rehab of sorts.
I have a friend, his father, I think after one of his strokes, he lost his taste. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, he never got it back. So I don't know how he deals with food.
You know what? When I didn't have taste buds, I craved fruit because I liked the temperature. Cool temperature. So, but I couldn't taste anything. But it's almost as if you have a memory of what it tasted like. So you kind of forget, like, am I tasting this or do I just remember what it tastes like? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope I never lose either or. That's just, I love food. I love to smell it, taste it.
Because if you think about it, taste is directly connected to your brain and memory. Because have you ever, like, went to go drink something and it's not what you thought it was going to be? So let's just say you thought it was going to be orange juice, but it ended up being water. You'd guzzle it and it would be like shocking, right?
Yeah.
Because you were expecting it to be orange juice.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think I did lose my taste a little bit.
Diet Coke.
Yes.
It didn't taste right.
No.
It tasted just like carbonation.
Yeah. So I think I did.
You did.
I think okay, now I'm remembering. Like sometimes my memory, so I was like, man, sometimes I felt like I lost a piece of my memory when I had my goddamn stroke.
You think so?
I don't know. But I do remember that about Diet Coke. Because that's one of our favorites.
There's nothing like a good Diet Coke.
Oh, man, the crackling, the carbonation, the taste of it. Mm-hmm. It is addictive. I don't care what anyone says.
It is the best.
It's the best.
The best. Okay, another one is bruising easily. Bruising easily usually means an iron deficiency of some sort.
Interesting.
Then you have to, I challenge you to probe your doctors, though. When they determine something like, okay, you have this, you're getting bruises because you have an iron deficiency, take it a step further. Why do I have an iron deficiency? What is causing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it because maybe this is a vegetarian who doesn't eat red meat and is not getting the iron in their diet? Could be. But you have to take things a step further sometimes.
You do.
Because like with my dad, when I had taken him for his checkup right after my mom died, his red blood cells were a little bit low and he was iron deficient. She put him on an iron supplement, sent him on his merry way. Instead of investigating that further, well, it turned out because, 4 months later, found out he had colon cancer. He was bleeding internally. That's why his red blood cells were low. That's why he was iron deficient. He was bleeding. You know what I mean? So you have to take it a step further.
And unfortunately, a lot of times they don't. They just Band-Aid and on you go.
And I know for us as the patient, we want it to be nothing. Especially if you have a little anxiety about going to the doctor, you want it to be nothing. So you want the doctor to tell you it's nothing, and then you're happy to go, cool, I'll take my iron and just, but you'll be better off facing and just making sure you troubleshoot it all the way so that you know why. You should just always know why.
Yeah.
So if you can pinpoint why, then you're okay to go on, but you should know, what is potentially causing that. If I wasn't iron deficient before, why am I iron deficient now? What has changed? Let me think about it. Has my diet changed? If you can't pinpoint it yourself, then you need to have your doctor help you pinpoint it, because there should be further questions on that so that you make sure that it's nothing else.
And that's why I like that we get our blood work done regularly. What are we, 3 times a year now? At least?
Yeah, I think 3 times a year.
So we're on top of it. So in case if there's something funky, they're like, okay, now that we know the knowledge that we have, we'll dive deeper into it. Why is this happening? Why does this look this way?
I just got my blood work done from Transcend. All my numbers improved. So I'm like, cool. That means, and it was a full panel. So I hadn't gotten a full panel since last February. So a year ago, I got it in October, and then I got it again in February. And then I got it now. Each time I've done it, my cholesterol's improved. Everything is improving.
Hey, just goes to show that wherever we're doing, it works.
Yeah.
It ain't just about aesthetics. It's about that, what's going on inside. That's the most important.
Yeah. There's nothing. It's nice to do that kind of stuff without anxiety, because I feel like, okay, I'm doing everything right. So I'm not anxious to get my results. I'm excited to get it and look at it and see how things have improved. And
for sure.
Because cholesterol and heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, I think. Women die more frequently than men from heart disease, I believe. So it's you get scared to make sure. I want to make sure that, I'm taking, not having high cholesterol and all of that.
And look at me. I went to the doctor's, 2 weeks ago to re-up on my meds, get a checkup, and they did my blood pressure, and it's been the lowest ever that I could ever remember.
Yeah,
super low. I was shocked.
I'm really
117 over 71 or something like that. It was super low.
I'm really thinking the testosterone because it's one of the things it's supposed to do is lower blood pressure. Yeah, it has to be. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing you've done different.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. What else? Okay, fruity breath. What do you think fruity breath is a sign of? Like your breath smells fruity. It doesn't sound like it would be a bad thing, but what do you think it's a sign of?
You got me there. I have no clue. Fruity breath.
Diabetes or high blood sugar.
Wow. I don't remember my mother's breath being fruity. She had diabetes.
Yeah.
For many years.
But Type 2. When it's uncontrolled, you either are having hyperglycemia or high blood glucose. So if your blood sugar shoots up, you have fruity breath, then isn't that crazy? And you could have a condition called ketoacidosis when you don't have enough insulin.
Interesting. Stuff we learn. Hey, we're here to educate people, man, right?
I know. I was truly interested in some of these random things because these are things you wouldn't think are a big deal. Another one that I would have never thought. We always are taught as women, and I think it's October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, actually.
It is. Facts.
We're always taught as women to check for lumps.
Always.
Have you ever heard to check for a rash on your breast? Like a rash, looks like a raspberries or a broken blood vessels. Have you ever heard of that? Or have you always heard just women should check for lumps?
I always heard lumps.
A rash on your breast is actually a sign of an aggressive form of breast cancer and should be immediately investigated. If there's no reason for it and it just appears, you have a rash, it should be immediately investigated by the doctor.
Man, you're about to scare a lot of ladies when they listen to this. They're going to go immediately run to the bathroom and look at their breasts.
But shouldn't they know?
They should know. You're right.
Because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't think that.
Anything weird, any kind of lumps anywhere, anything funky, anything that all of a sudden comes out of nowhere, like, wait a minute.
A change. A weird change.
Yeah. Like, pay attention. Your body's letting you know.
Yeah. Also, like your armpits. Because your armpits have a lot of lymph nodes in them. A lot of things the lymph nodes can tell a lot of story about your body too. If they're swollen, something's going on. A lot of times you're just sick or fighting a virus, but if there's unexplained reason for you to feel like the lumps on your, you feel like right under here, under your jawline or in your armpit, and you feel that. Like
Was that why the doctor used to check us under our jawline?
They're feeling your lymph nodes to see if they're, because if they are swollen, it's an indicator that the body's fighting something.
Interesting. I've had like, hasn't happened to me in many, many years, but I've had like a little bit of bumps under my armpit years ago. I touched them and felt a little, I never knew what that was.
Yeah.
I don't got them.
It is a sign that you're fighting an infection a lot of times, but it could be a sign of other things. So my brother, Danny, he had his, I think it was in his neck or like in his throat or right here, his lymph nodes were very swollen and he had lymphoma. Yeah. So it's just something that, and I always remember I used to watch this movie with my mom, actually. It was one of our favorite movies we watched together. It was called Terms of Endearment. It was really freaking sad.
I heard of that movie, but I don't remember what it was about. I'm not sure if I watched it.
It's the saddest movie. If it's a mother-daughter relationship that's it's tumultuous but loving. And the daughter ends up getting cancer and she dies in the movie. But it's so just devastating. Jack Nicholson's in it. It's just so good. But she found a lump, or she was at the doctor, and the doctor felt a lump under her armpit. And it ended up being like, aggressive cancer.
Man.
So it's just that movie I'll never forget. It was just so, I just thinking about it right now. I remember we would watch it together and we would just cry and cry. I don't know why we watched that over and over. It's weird. I try to avoid sad movies now because I don't like to take myself there.
I know you do, especially when it comes to animals.
Oh, no,
I know. I don't like to either.
I cannot do it.
It breaks my heart. I know. I got such a soft spot for animals.
Speaking of armpits, if your armpit is like a pit, arm pit. that tells you it should be like a ditch, right? There should be like a hole.
Shouldn't be flat, right?
Sometimes it's not flat if you have like excess fat in the area, because you do have, body fat that can accumulate there.
Yeah.
But if you normally, like, your anatomy, it's usually a pit, but it suddenly is not a pit, it could be a buildup of toxins there. And you could get like a lymphatic drainage to like drain it out. It could be like a buildup of toxins like in the body.
I wonder if people who excessively smell from there like bad, that's a sign of anything.
From your armpits?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people just...
Yeah, let's see.
I knew some people that they're always humming. Like, man, they put deodorant on and still be humming. Like, dude, that's not good.
Yeah, accumulation of dead skin cells in the underarm area can also make it dark and stinky.
Oh.
You know how some people's armpits are dark? And I'm not talking about like the shadow from hair, but they're just dark in color.
Yeah.
That's like an accumulation of dead skin cells, like bad deodorants, like too much deodorant, friction from your clothes, or shaving when it's dry, not lubricated.
I've even switched up my deodorant over the past couple
to a clean
years.
one?
No aluminum, I believe. Yeah.
Aluminum free.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm starting to get worried. Like, what are these? We never paid attention. We just assume, just put things in our body. We're like, wait a minute. These things all have chemicals. They're all made from some kind of chemicals to combat that smell. That's why I get it. Some people are super anti-deodorant, don't want to put nothing because they're afraid of the chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah, they get scared. So it's kind of hard, because then it's like you start doing that and it's like, where does it stop?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So you have to, at some point you're kind of like, listen, I'm just going to pay a lot of attention to my body, and something that's super obvious, I'm going to try to make good choices, but I try not to get overly obsessed with fixated on certain things, because then it becomes an unhealthy obsession about your health too.
Too much.
So my mindset is, because a lot of times people ask me, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And I heard this causes inflammation and that and this.
I bet.
My thing is this, look, obviously we know in the big picture, the best thing you can do for your health is keep yourself active, keep yourself at a healthy body weight.
Yep.
Build muscle, eat nutritious food. And that's the best thing you can do, right? And then monitor your health and monitor all the things we just talked about. But monitor your health and how you're feeling. Because when you strip out most of the stuff that most everybody else does, all the vices and things that people do, you get really in tune with how you feel, how people make you feel, how things make you feel, how food makes you feel. It's not that you get more sensitive, by the way. Everyone suddenly, they go on a journey and then suddenly they're like, oh, this bothers me, this bothers me. It's because you're so clean now, you notice more because your baseline is better. I mean, we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is like, look, I keep my baseline good. I feel good. I'm doing a lot of the right things that we know for a fact are going to, make a healthier person. That way, if some of these other things that I entertain or don't pay particular attention to do end up causing my body some harm, I think that I will be able to detect it sooner than I would have if, like, I was just balls to the wall, living a crazy wild lifestyle, right? Overweight, not exercising, eating whatever. So that's the advantage I give myself. But I'm not going to overly fixate on every little thing. But I do pay attention to my body. I pay attention to how I feel. I pay attention to changes, because it's changes. That's another thing too in blood work. Changes. Look at trends in your blood work.
Yeah.
If something was always stable, then all of a sudden you have a huge spike from one year to the next. Something changed, so you have to question it. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
See you.